I'm just giving my heiress a little bit of a dead head. These flowers are fine, so I might just snip these off and put them in a little vase on their own, because look, new stems are coming up. So I want to make sure that the plant's got the energy to rebloom as nicely as it did the first lot of flowers. The same thing is happening over here with fever. I've got new flowers coming through, but we've got lots of dead heads. So I'm going to go through, remove all the dead heads and give the second flush of flowers the best chance possible. And it will be like the first time all over again. Brilliant. Look at those. And then the same with the Ariadne. Look at that. So I can see there's a new stem coming through there. And if we go to the back here, can you see? Look at all these fresh stems coming through. So I will take out any dead heads, give the plant back the energy it needs to create more flowers for us to enjoy. Now we'll do exactly the same with the rose-shaped ranunculus. Look at that trio of new blooms coming through. You can see that that flower is spent. I think they look the most beautiful just before they go over and blow. Look at that one there. That's about to shower the petals all over the ground, isn't it? But if we go down and have a look, and we will see we have got new shoots coming up. So this is the beauty of having a bit of chilly weather. It really revives the ranunculus. Absolutely fabulous. I'm just cutting myself a few stems for the house. Now this one is so open it's about to blow, so I'm going to take it in, put it in some water, let it hydrate overnight, and then put it in a vase in the house, because it will last longer than it will in the warm greenhouse. Absolutely fantastic. Now you can of course leave the bud in place to flower later if you want to, but I think I would rather give the plant a chance to reshoot a brand new stem and save its energy. The stem is so thick, look at that. And tall, incredibly tall. And then the anemones that I deadheaded before, you can see they are now reshooting with fresh flowers. And another one coming through, look at that. There, look at that. So I'm going to put them in a bucket of cool water and leave them alone overnight, just to rehydrate. You'll be amazed how much better they actually look. They look gorgeous now, but in the morning they'll look even better with a little rest and a big long drink. Fast forward, and the flowers have been conditioning overnight, and look at the difference. So on the plant, these flowers look like they had come to the end of their life, but now we've given them a long drink in a bucket of water. They are ready to give us a second show in the house. And the plants are nicely deadheaded so that they've got the opportunity to bloom again for us. I think they look fantastic, just in the bucket, just like that. They're just random colours, but I think they look lovely. And then here to demonstrate the importance of conditioning, look at this flower. It is absolutely rock steady. All that water has filled the stem and the flower is looking even better than it did when I first picked it. The stem is certainly much, much firmer. You can see that, can't you? Now the most important thing with your cut flowers is make sure that you don't move them to a room which is really warm, because otherwise that's how the stems can wilt. I might have to give these stems a bit of a trim though. My goodness me, they are so tall, aren't they? So slender, and they've already been flowering for weeks in the polytunnel. So they're now getting a second life on my dining room table. Just don't put your flowers in a really warm room, because otherwise that can make them wilt prematurely. Somewhere away from the heating, so they have their longest vase life. Look at that, floating around like butterflies. Just so beautiful, aren't they? You don't need anything else. You really don't need many flowers to make the most gorgeous little posy. Look at that. So the stems are quite long. I can cut those down and put them in a mini vase, put them next to my bed, and you won't even notice so few flowers being removed from your display. Look at that, cute as anything. The taller the vase, or the longer you leave the stems, the more flowers that you'll need to fill the vase. So the shorter the stem is, the smaller the vase. You'll only need 3 flowers to fill it up. I think I'm just going to leave them in the bucket for now. It looks lovely, doesn't it? Looks really lovely. Yes, I'm pleased with that. Good morning. Now, I don't know if you recognise these flowers, but these were the flowers I picked from the polytunnel last Sunday to make way for the new stems that are coming through. They were all a bit on their last legs, but we cut them, put them in a bucket, and they look absolutely beautiful. But now, as time goes on, the flowers have opened a bit more and the stems are getting a bit weaker, because they're about a month old now, if you count them blooming in the garden as well. So the stems start to get a little bit weaker, and the heads are so big now, they can be a bit too heavy for the stems and they can flop. So what I've done is I've trimmed all the stems right down and then piled the flowers on top of each other in a bit of a ball shape. And then that means if you've got any weak stems, they can't quite hold the flowers up anymore, it doesn't matter, because the flowers support each other. So that means I don't have to put any flowers in a compost bin. I can now enjoy them for a little bit longer. You can see I've even popped in single stems of the butterfly ranunculus. Anyway, I thought that might be handy for you if you just want to get a little bit more vase life out of your flowers. So here's another example. I've shortened the stems on the butterfly ranunculus now. The shorter the stems, the less flowers you need for a vase. The longer the stems, the more flowers you need to fill it up. So I've taken the butterfly ranunculus branches apart so I could separate all the flowers out and then arrange them like this, closer together. And it looks really full, doesn't it? Absolutely wonderful. What a terrifically long life these flowers have had. And we've got more coming. There we go. These are going to be my loo flowers. It's a nice cool room. The bathroom is lovely and cool, so my flowers will last a very long time in here. They look absolutely beautiful, don't they?